the year last year, absolutely having a shocker this year too. So a very important heat for all our surfers out in the water. 2 searching for a requalification, and Taylor Knox just trying to claw his way back into the World Championship race. Still sitting in the top 10 though, pretty.
Oh yeah,
he's a happy camper this year, Taylor.
Now, I guess we're going to see, Dave, in this second heat whether these surfers have learned anything about the lineup from
Mickey
first
and
round.
Bobby.
Yeah. See if they've figured a little bit more out about this lineup. It has changed a lot since yesterday. There's still remnant groundswell under there, but it's kind of being overlaid by a developing westerly wind swell. It's pouring around the corner here, and every now and then a kind of a double up wave hits and it'll run a fair way down the sandbar. There's a lot in between, a lot of waves that you might think are going to be good are turning to crap as you go down the line.
Yeah,
and
definitely. The sandbar goes well out into the channel, and if you don't have groundswell wrapping down that bar, it can get really funky. And of course, we do have the incoming tide as well to deal with now, Nick, so it'll be getting fatter and fatter. And while Mickey and Bobby were looking for tubes out there in that last heat, it's going to become more of a question of turns, I think, rather than tubes.
Almost certainly.
But we shall see. Well, as you saw in the 2 heats yesterday, Tom Whitaker absolutely just got the wave of the day. Sick barrel, still didn't help him make it through the heat. And then for Timmy Reyes, Victor Rebus, and David Weir, it was really all about turns. There they are on your screen right now in red, Taylor Knox out of Carlsbad, California. Trent Munro in yellow, Jarrad Howse in blue, both of our Aussie mates. Round 1, heat 4. And as you can see, it's not about sunshine and bums on the beach here in Mundaka. Everyone got their winter gear on.
Yeah, they're focusing the lineup too. There's knowledge amongst the surfers this morning that they may well be competing today, so it's not a situation you want to just totally walk away from and ignore just because it's a bit windy, you know. You've got to watch these heats and pay attention to them. I can see the surfers in the last heat coming in now. They're just having a little chat about things, and I guess they're going to walk up the steps right in front of the competition setup zone.
One.
And Mickey, a little bit more downcast. Bobby. Victorious can relax now, and he won't be surfing again until round number 3. Man, that's round 3 at this event is going to be one to watch, ladies and gentlemen. That's where a lot of this world title angst is going to get sorted out, I suspect, and there'll be a lot of angst in the hearts of some of the surfers who are struggling for requalification at the moment. This is the kind of business end of the tour right now.
This is definitely the business end of the tour. Mickey knows it already. He was hoping for a big result in France at his hometown event. Didn't happen, and we've really seen a lot of the stress on the surfers' faces. There's another surfer that needs a big result in blue, Jarrad Howse, first off the lip, followed that up with a floater re-entry, and went down. So nice little first section there, but it's really all about linking the first section through with the second and the third here today. Otherwise, you're not going to really be able to get the big scores. But I think a lot of people are really surprised that there's waves out here at all today. And looking pretty nice. Here's surfer in red, Taylor Knox. No, decided against paddling for that one, which was probably a good choice.
Now, an odd fact, Dave Mailman, something I've noticed here is that there's no sign of Trent Munro. The surfer in yellow in this heat is missing. And B, it looks to me like Jarrad Howse, the surfer in blue, has lost his board.
He certainly has.
Now, I don't know if he's decided to pull the daredevil act of like surfing with no leash, or if the leash is snapped under pressure of that big move.
He's broken his board.
Oh, it's busted the board's history.
On that floater re-entry.
Oh, man. That is most painful. Let's see.
That is a shocker. And, of course, these guys don't have their caddies out there.
They don't. They do have jet skis, but I'm not sure if they're allowed assistance during a heat. You can get a ride back in after the heat.
Exactly, but if you break your board during the heat, you do have to swim in. And if the caddy was in the channel, he could actually paddle the board over to Jarrad from where he is. We've got Toby Martin. You can't see him, but trying to signal to Jarrad where someone is waiting for him with a board. But here in Mundaka, a broken board, if you don't have your caddies in the lineup, is a bit of a shocking thing to happen in the middle of a heat.
Oh, it's a tough one, and Jarrad's actually a pretty good swimmer, man.
Yeah, he's fit. He's very, very fit.
He's fit and strong, and if he's going to make something of it, he's going to have to do it in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, luckily for him, he's broken his board in the first 5 minutes. Still 24 and a half minutes remaining.
That's right, and he's got the first right of the heat at 2.33. It's a score. It
is a score, and since Trent Munro has still not showed up for this heat, now we have no information whatsoever about Trent Munro's absence from this heat. He was here yesterday.
Look at Jarrad's putting in the big ones here, ladies and gentlemen. Jarrad Howse swimming like a fish out the back. Taylor Knox taking advantage of the empty lineup. He's having a lone surf out there at the moment.
That's something that doesn't happen very often in Mundaka, to get the Mundaka lineup to yourself. So Taylor will.
All right, boys, standing here with Bobby Martinez. Pretty impressive heat. To find a couple little runners.
Yeah, it was actually pretty hard to know which way would be good because it's kind of wind swirly, and you got to kind of just. I caught a lot of waves, and some of them held up longer than the other, but it was actually really fun when you got the right wave.
And I mean, this wave just looks perfectly suited to you on your forehand. Super quick. You feeling pretty comfortable out here?
No, not really. This is only my third time surfing out here, so it's really new to me. Especially today, it's so different from when I've surfed it before. But I mean, I was just happy to get through that heat, and I mean, it's definitely tricky though out there. So,
and I mean, let's talk about still sitting in 7th in the world. You've had a 33rd, a 17th, and a 33rd. So looking to bounce back with a pretty strong result here and finish off the year in the top 10.
So that'd be great. I just I got on a bad roll, 33rd, 17th, 33rd, and pull myself out of that slump. That's all I can do is just hope and try my best. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, that's a win through to round 3. So Adriano, no show for that heat. We are a bit, well. Okay, guys, back to you up there. Thanks for that. I think TWI want to grab you too up the top there.
Okay, and thanks for that, Bobby Martinez. Winner of our first heat this morning. Heat number 3, Bobby's moving into 3rd round and looking real confident, that guy. Right now in the lineup, Taylor Knox still by himself. Jarrad Howse broke his board, went after the first half, and now he's swum all the way back into the harbour
entrance,
to get his backup board. It's sick stuff, Dave.
Luckily for Jarrad, the current actually does run out along the rocks here. So once he managed to swim out of the lineup, he was in a current that was helping him to the harbor entrance. But that is pretty amazing. So that's a long swim for anyone, let alone in the middle of a heat. 21 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. It's
no, this is very, very cool, Dave. But the sadist in me would sometimes like to see events held where the surfers weren't allowed to wear leashes, so just force them to engage in ruthless
long paddles and
ruthless sprints to their boards and put this horrible air of uncertainty into everything for them. I know it's really cruel.
Spice things up a little bit, definitely.
Yeah, it'd throw a bit more of the Coliseum atmosphere into pro surfing. But fortunately, people don't take my advice on this sort of stuff, Dave.
That'd be interesting every now and then. We should get all of you free thinkers with your new contest formats together and just do a few of them for fun. Get Nick Carroll, Derek Hind, Kelly Slater. I'm sure you guys could come up with some good stuff.
Well, not to bore anyone, but one of the best ideas I think I've heard recently is that perhaps you could have dance surfing where 2 surfers ride the same wave and kind of interact and intersect during the surf.
Well, we've actually seen that format. I think Kelly Slater introduced that at his Kelly Slater Invitational, and then we saw it during the Boost Mobile at Trestles in the Keys to the Continent competition.
Totally.
And it was super exciting. Taj and Andy at Trestles were unbelievable, and your brother and Tom Curran weren't the best team out at the Kelly Slater Invitational, but they weren't bad at all.
That's too good to imagine.
You imagine Tom Carroll and Tom Curran surfing the same waves.
Yeah.
And believe me, that was an exercise in style comparison there.
And restraint, no doubt.
Yeah, restraint from Tom Curran and absolute froth from Tom Carroll, but it was great.
Oh, yeah, but we're not going to see any of that here at the
Out here,
Billabong
no.
Pro 2006 at Mundaka. Ladies and gentlemen, a crucial event here for the World Championship Tour this year. We're going to see a lot of World Challenge angst and energy come out through the next 4 or 5 days here, I'm sure.
And Taylor's just loving this empty lineup. This is really an unheard of thing in surfing, to be alone in the water at Mundaka. So Taylor will be appreciating every minute of this and trying to pick the best waves. A couple nice turns there. Ooh, and there's a set coming in. Taylor maybe could have been a little bit more patient before taking off on that one, but this is kind of like seeing one guy in the lineup at Pipeline or at Trestles. That's kind of the equivalent. Usually when there's waves here and there's not a contest on, if it's really good, 150 people in the water.
Oh, undoubtedly. And like all the great waves in the world nowadays, they are popular places. Everybody wants a slice of it, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know what would happen if they took off on an epic wave at Mundaka or Pipe or wherever, you know.
Well, chances are, even if you managed to get out to the peak, you'd get dropped in on by one of the locals. You'd get stuffed. You'd break your favorite board. You would then have a long swim into the channel and a little slippery climb up the rocks or up one of the stairs that lets people out of the water here in Mundaka. Or you'd just sit in the channel and watch. Because even Tom Curran, Kelly Slater, all those guys get dropped in on out here. I think it was the first Friday of the Pro France waiting period. So that would have been about 2 weeks ago. There's unbelievable swell down here at Mundaka. The conditions weren't very good for the French beach breaks, so the contest directors called it off and let everyone come down here. And they had an amazing session with 150 of their best friends. Kelly and Parco both said they got the best backhand barrels of their lives, but there were many confrontations, drop-ins, run-overs, and even Kelly was getting dropped in on by the local surfers. So no rest for the wicked and no mercy for anyone during the free surfs out here at Mundaka. But right now, Taylor Knox definitely enjoying himself, and looks like Jarrad Howse has finally come to join him in the lineup once again.
Yeah, Jarrad's not wasting any time. He's instantly catching a wave.
How fit is he?
What a amazing exhibition of water personship that was. Jarrad snapping his board, losing it, halfway in through the river mouth, swims in after it, has a look at it, goes, no way, turns around, swims back out into the rip that runs along the rocks here, swims all the way into the harbour, grabs his backup board, paddles straight out in the lineup and catches a wave. And that's pretty epic performance there, Dave.
And all that in just under 9 minutes.
Yeah, what's he thinking, man?
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's fitness. Whoever says fitness doesn't count in pro surfing, well,
Yeah.
Jarrad has just proved us all wrong.
Think again.
Yeah. It's not a real sport, Nick.
We all know
These
it's
guys aren't athletes.
Nah.
What are you talking about?
No, they can barely stand up. Here we go. Taylor Knox outside, the man in red. And he just lets that wave section out and crumble across the sandbar. Very tricky wave choice out here today at Mundaka. And Taylor's been out there by himself for a good 10 minutes.
And still
in that
hasn't-
time,
yeah.
he's only caught...
He's caught 4 waves. He caught 3 waves while Jarrad was out of the lineup, and not one of them more than 2 points.
Yeah, it was nothing. That time was nothing. And Jarrad Howse has in fact come back out and caught a 3.5 on his return wave. And really, this heat is anybody's right now.
And here's Taylor once again. Little carve off the top there. Long floater. And he's made it around the section, pulls into that little closeout tube, and that'll be it for Taylor.
That's right. And if you're just joining us here,
That's
welcome,
Nick Carroll.
ladies and gentlemen. This is Nick. This is Dave. That's right. We don't even look alike, and plus he's wearing this insane cap.
Yeah, don't you
so,
love that?
You
There
should be
you
able
go.
to tell the difference.
Buffalo representing.
That's right. And welcome here to Mundaka, the beautiful surf spot on the northern Spanish coast, to a windy day here. To some fun waves. And you can see Jarrad Howse there coming back and
was about 6th off the lip there. So
yeah,
this could be the score of the heat so far, actually, Nick.
Yeah, and you know, you get the sense that broken board and the effort that Jarrad has had to put in to get back into the lineup
good warm-up.
fired him up.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it did, for
yeah,
sure.
He's got something of that animal determination in him on that wave, just putting together 2 or 3 more moves than might normally have been expected, I reckon.
And Jarrad's he's a real fighter. I mean, already last year, just to qualify for the tour, I don't know if you know this, but he was in the semifinals of the QS not in the semifinals, in the quarterfinals of the QS at Sunset, and he had, I believe it was Poncho, Sonny, and Andy in his heat, and he had to get second to make it through and to qualify, and he did. So, and sitting right now in 40th position on the WCT rankings, he knows he has to have great results for the rest of the year, that this is a super important contest for him.
It really is. And a good scoring ride there for Jarrad. A 6.17 does, in fact, take him into the lead in this heat. And Taylor will not be liking hearing that.
No, especially not sitting for 10 minutes out there by himself and not being able to put anything more than a 2-point ride on the board. So Taylor now needs a 4.85. His best wave so far was his first, a 4.83.
And, you know, the drama of this heat continues to unveil
Trent
itself.
Munro's just paddled out.
Trent Munro.
With 13 and a half minutes remaining.
He was freaking totally missing in action at the start of this heat, Trent. I was wondering if maybe he'd had a kidney stone like Adriano de Souza had in the first heat this morning. But no, it just looks like maybe he woke up a bit late. And Trent is now barnstorming his way down the inside. Excellent backside surfer, Trent, and you would have thought that he was going to be coming on fairly strong in this contest, and he's just walked straight into the heat with 13 and a half minutes to go and racked up his first wave, so good on you, Trent.
Way to go, mate.
Let's see a little bit more of it.
And actually, you know what, Trent might have been a lot of the surfers actually stay up in France, because when it goes flat down here in Mundaka, there's still, head high, really clean, good conditions up in France. So a lot of the guys stay in France, up in Hossegor, and drive down every day for their heats. And Mickey said that it was one of the worst storms he's ever seen in his life in the Southwest. Cats and dogs sleeping together, trees blowing by sideways on the auto route as well. So Trent could have just been stuck in traffic or behind an accident, or just woke up this morning, looked up and said, well, it's raining sideways, so they probably won't be running, went back to bed, and then probably maybe a team manager went and woke him up or something. But you know what? And Nick, looks like we've got another solid set rolling through the arena here.
Yeah, well, that's true there, Dave. A solid set winding under the side of that outside bank. Jarrad Howse up and riding, and looks like a long wall ahead of Jarrad here. What can he make of this, Dave?
He'll like this one. That's his little setup snap off the top. Trying to stay in the critical section. Can't get too far behind it. There's a nice floater from Jarrad, and again. And definitely the longest wave of the heat. Maybe not the most radical, but that was a good off-the-lip re-entry to finish it off for Howse.
Oh, very much. A really impressive performance here from the surfer in blue, Jarrad Howse. As we've reiterated,
I think most surfers would have just given up after breaking the board and having to swim all the way around. That's incredible.
Many of them wouldn't have actually managed to swim.
The swim, anyways.
They would have swum about as far as the channel, and they would have just lain there on their backs like a beached whale.
It just called for the jet ski.
Yeah, totally. Help me. Take me in so I can have some tapas and a cup of coffee or something.
Exactly. And I'll just wait for round 2.
Yeah,
not Jarrad Howse.
No, he's
617 on his last one, and we'll see. We're still waiting on his previous wave. Still waiting on his last wave score. 4.33 for the first wave of Trent Munro, who once again creating another surprise. Maybe the yellow jersey is a sign of bad luck today. Adriano de Souza out with a kidney stone. Trent Munro missing the first 17 minutes of his heat.
That's right. Well, up next in the yellow is Corey Lopez from Indian Rocks, Florida. Corey, I know you can't hear us, man, but I just watch out, okay?
Good luck, exactly.
Yeah. Take a couple of leg ropes out with you, not just one.
Make sure you got your caddy in the channel and bring an extra bar of wax. What else could go wrong?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Oxygen
tank. Yeah. Don't jump off the rocks. Get very slowly into the water.
Okay, scores in there for Jarrad Howse's second scoring ride, a 4.73, and it does hold his his
lead. Helps him extend the lead even.
It may well have extended his lead slightly. And
second, Taylor in red now needs a 6.08. He was looking for a 5.85 before that last wave of Jarrad. Third, Trent Munro needs a 6.57. 9 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Look at that lovely view. There you can see the Mundaka estuary.
The spectacular Guernica River streaming down from the hills and bringing with it the sand that we need to see this sandbar melded into perfection. Dave, I wouldn't be surprised if this rain triggered a further flow of sand, do you think? I've noticed the bank looks like it's even changed today, this morning.
It definitely has. I mean, it rained buckets last night, so that's definitely washed more sand out here and has blown in a little bit of swell. I mean, remember, Nick, it was pretty much flat last night, even on the the low tide. So, it's back up to a foot or two overhead on the sets.
It so is. And here's a wave out the back, turning now. Appears to be Trent Munro.
Munro.
God, a long wall wave. This one, he pulls in high into the tube, makes it through the first section. He comes out of the second section. Gets bashed by the lip, but I'll tell you what, the judges saw that. They're not going to ignore the fact that he made it through that extremely
made that
tricky
first section and the
section.
second section. Yeah, that
really
will score not a whole lot, but
really aggressive surfing though there by Trent Munro. Gets him a 2.23. Still in third place, but this heat far from over. All surfers have a shot at the title right now.
Definitely. We've got Taylor Knox is sitting on a fair and an average wave score. Same thing for Trent. Jarrad Howse has one good and a fair wave, so all these guys would definitely like to better at least their second wave scores. And here's Taylor Knox trying to do just that.
Well,
it's his second turn and a third. Vertically up into the foam ball there. Another little cutback. Definitely not easy conditions out here today at Mundaka, but very contestable surf. It's our current world number 6, Taylor Knox, finishing that one off. Looking to replace a 3.9. to extend his lead over Trent Munro in third, and especially looking for a 6.08 to take the lead off of Jarrad Howse.
Yes, indeed. And if you're just logging on with us this morning here at the Billabong Pro for Mundaka for 2006, welcome to Spain. It's almost as good as being here, really, isn't it, Dave?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely unbelievable. The webcast now, we can all live vicariously live and direct from all the Foster's ASP Men's World Tour contests.
Even if occasionally that causes you to smash your head against the wall in frustration because you realize they're scoring. Like, that event in Mexico drove me insane, man.
I bet it did.
I got to say, I don't go to a lot of these contests these days, but I kind of figured they wanted to go to that one because I knew that spot. I knew how good it could get. And the last minute I had to pull out of going there, and I watched that thing.
Oh, you must have been gutted.
I thought, there's surfers all over the world watching this just going, oh, my God, look at that.
The messages that were coming through were just...
Superbank, stupid bank.
Yeah, people were losing it. Oh, Mick Fanning, that was one of the first questions I asked. Okay, Mick, La Jolla or the Superbank? And he just laughed.
God,
the Superbank is like ankle-snapping onshore shore break compared to La Jolla when it's on.
And out wide now,
it's Jarrad,
up and riding. Jarrad Howse, the Iron Man of this event today, swam back to the harbour, grabbed his backup board after a snap, and he's currently leading the heat. Can't but say good things about old Jarrad this morning.
Oh, exactly, and another good wave there from Jarrad all the way through the inside section. Finished it off strong with a nice vertical off-the-lip re-entry there.
Very
and
much.
Taylor's last wave of 4.37. Trent still looking for his third wave, trying to replace a 6.57. And here we are once again. Got the nice Basque flag. We are in Spain, but in the Basque country, which is a semi-autonomous region of Spain. They speak one of the world's oldest known languages. That is Basque. Actually, the two closest languages to it in the world are Hungarian and Finnish.
Epic.
And they call it the devil's tongue because unless you're born here, they say only the devil could learn how to speak Basque. Oh! And only the devil could have pulled off that backside floater over that section. That was Trent Munro, while you watch Bobby Martinez and one of the bras.
Now, didn't Bobby just have his eyes still glued to the lineup? Most interesting sight. This guy, I think, has come to this event with a lot to bring to the lineup here at Mundaka. Bobby Martinez went out there this morning and just took it out on Mickey Picon. Won his heat really easily, and yet he's not satisfied by that. He's hanging around and watching the lineup and just checking the situation out really closely. Such a focused competitor, and he's been travelling this year with Damien Hobgood, who is mellow as anything, you know.
But is a ferocious competitor in his own right.
Absolutely, and very savvy too. He's learned a lot of lessons, Damien, over the last 3 years or so, and I think he's probably passing him on to Bobby. You know, I don't know if he thinks maybe that's going to come back and bite him on the bum.
Well,
you know?
Hey, apparently it's worked because Bobby's in 7th position right now and Damien Hobgood in 8th. So
Ooh.
maybe it's Damo that's a bit gutted that he's been giving too much help to Bobby. But either way, both of them are sitting in the top 10. So
they know what's
mutually motivating one and the other. So your emails are coming in, but plenty of action in the water actually this morning and on land.
And on land.
All sorts of things happening out here. The plot line thickens at the Billabong Pro Mundaka 2006.
Well, look, this event is renowned for throwing up challenges, isn't it, Dave?
It's challenging for the contest organizers. It's challenging for the surfers. It's even challenging for the crowd sitting out. I've spent days and days outside, and when I'm not working this is Taylor Knox once again, but just sitting in the rain watching heats be run and wading through the lulls at high tide, because even though the wave does break more often now that the sandbar is back and back better than ever, there's still the 2 or 3 hours around high tide where it does go flat out here unless it's 10 foot. But
surely,
so a very challenging wave. But thankfully, a lovely little village here in the Spanish Basque Country to while away the hours when the contest is not on. Here's Jarrad Howse, who'd like to have a day off for round 2, spend some time eating tapas and drinking coffee instead.
Oh, yeah. Look, Jarrad's really on fire in this heat, and you can see his intentions are super clear. He did have the Ironman swim earlier in the heat when his surfboard broke, but he's bounced back from that really well. It did fire him up. And out the back now, Trent Munro has only given himself 13 minutes in this heat to come up with scores. Strings together a quick ride himself.
He's doing the best he can. Well, the second to last wave of Jarrad was a 4.97. We're still waiting on his last wave score, so he's extended his lead once again. Taylor now looking for a 6.31. Trent Munro needing a 6.81. Now, of course, we know both of these surfers highly capable of getting those kind of scores. But so far in the heat, Taylor's best wave score a 4.83 and Trent a 4.33. So the boys need to add on another 1.5 or 2 points to their best wave scores to have any chance of taking home the win on this one and moving through directly to round 3.
It's not a real lot of time left there. Just a couple of minutes left.
2 minutes remaining exactly.
I'm not one to take sides, Dave. Okay, but I think it'd be a shame if Jarrad Howse didn't win this heat at the moment.
No, he deserves it at this
put
point.
The work
he's done the work for sure.
Really
a 5.67 on his last wave. So Taylor now needing a 7.01 as he drops into this one. Ooh.
This is Taylor's big chance to hit back, but he's unfortunately unable to make much of it. The wave just shut down, and he accepted that fate. He was out very quickly out the back of that wave, and perhaps hoping to get something right after it. Wasn't to be for him.
I don't know if it's just bad luck or if Bonehead paddled out in place of Taylor Knox this morning. Of course, that is his nickname from.
Yes.
My friends call me Bonehead, because occasionally I don't make the best of choices in heats.
And what the heck do his enemies call him? That's what I want to know. God.
I don't think Taylor has any enemies, actually.
You're probably right. He's too nice a guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of the nicest guys on tour. And the Bonehead nickname, definitely a reference to the fact that it is so frustrating when he does make those mistakes for the fans of Taylor Knox.
Tell you what, though, Bonehead himself has pulled off on a long wave down the line here, and it looks like he's been eaten by it. Geez, you know what?
Eaten for breakfast by
I
Mundaka.
thought that wave might be the one that Taylor would string together a win on, but it wasn't to be. He's now stuck halfway down the line on this wave. There's about half a minute remaining in the heat, and I think pretty much you can be assured that Jarrad's got this heat. Jarrad Howse from South Australia, after a marathon effort, is going to come home with a win.
That's us back on the screen. Right before that was Adrian Buchan, tour rookie, who had injured himself as within the month of qualifying for the WCT, so he's surfing only his 3rd ever WCT event. here in Mundaka. That was him on the physiotherapist table, warming up his back. And here's Trent Munro for last. And as we count down the last 3 seconds of this heat, that is it. And
boom.
Congratulations to Jarrad Howse.
That's right. Well, stay tuned. We will have one of our crew down there interviewing Jarrad Howse as soon as he gets himself out of the water and somewhat composed after his mammoth effort.
And he'll be super stoked because he's
yeah.
got all 33rds and a few 17s in his scoreline so far this year, which means this already equals his best result of the year, and I wouldn't be